gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for September. I'm going to look at the date, 23rd, 2022 for the next hour or so. Let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host to Game Mess Mornings. It's Mike Minotti. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good. Part of me's covered up by your Discord settings.
Already got it. Why do you got to draw attention to it? Why you got to do that?
Well, Jeff, I guess a slight delay here. And if I had faith, I wouldn't have drawn attention to it. But I've seen some images and stuff kept up for a pretty long time on this show before. So
yeah, I was trying to get better at that. But hey, it's Friday. You know what?
You are better at it, Jeff. You're doing great.
Thank you. But it's Friday. I might just let some stuff slide today. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Actually, it's been a busy week. There's been a lot happening, a lot of video game news. How have you been feeling about it? What's the week been like for you?
I don't know. It somehow feels like one of those fast weeks, even though like all this GTA 6 stuff happening feels like forever ago. And that was like Sunday when that all happened. And we already like have this story moving along in a significant way today, even, right?
Yep.
So when I'm framing it in terms of video games, it feels like a slow week. But in terms of just like hanging out, doing my thing, it's been going by.
Yeah, it's been going by. I got a thing I'm doing tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Gonna be getting in the car, driving for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be at a place, and it's gonna be pretty fun. So I got plans this weekend that I'm excited about.
Wow.
So I'm like, let's get this week wrapped up. There's definitely stuff happening on giantbomb, but first we gotta do Game Mess Mornings. Before we do that. What's that?
Today, I'm going to a local high school basketball football
You're not allowed
game
to do
with
that.
my family.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no,
Okay,
it'd be great.
Yeah. Why? Wait, why?
Well, it's me and my brother still live in like the town
So
we
it's
went
where
to
you
high
went.
school
Okay.
with. So, and it's, the kids like to go now. So, plus, I mean, normally it's like, yeah, whatever. But now that it's finally cooled down, again, like going to those sweater football games is really cozy sounding right now. So, I'm into it. Let's do it.
And I'm just like, I am confused. Chat's confused. I'm confused. Who's that on your shirt? It's very unrecognizable.
Yeah, you probably won't recognize him. He hasn't been in anything since some movie from the late 30s. I just put this on, not thinking about it even. This is actually from Uniqlo. If you're listening I have an 8-bit Mickey Mouse shirt on. But Uniqlo did all those Final Fantasy anniversary shirts. I just got them because like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy. Then I'm like, it's comfortable. These things feel good. Hashtag not an ad, but the Uniqlo shirts are pretty good quality. So and then they don't do a whole lot of like pop culture style graphic tee things, but they do have some Mickey Mouse ones. So I got this Mickey guy here.
Looks pretty good. All right, before we get into this mess, let's explain what we do here. Each weekday, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news, maybe even some of our own original reporting as well. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with someone was allegedly arrested in relation to the Rockstar hack. This comes from Matthew Keys on Twitter, who is pointing to some reporting that's been done so far. It says, hashtag breaking. Police in the United Kingdom have arrested a 17-year-old suspected of hacking Rockstar games and leaking data associated with Grand Theft Auto 6. BBC News is reporting that the 17-year-old was arrested in connection with the hacking incident, but isn't allowed to report on the specifics of the incident. That did change a little bit later, when the city police confirmed the 17-year-old was arrested for the hacking incident, and then the sources say that the crime is related to the intrusion for Rockstar. So, and as Uber possibly as well. So, it's been less than a week. The hacker's apparently, allegedly been found and is already arrested. Are you at all surprised, Mike?
I'm a little surprised that, like, in my mind, I'm like, man, if you're going to do this, you must be living in, like, some, like, I don't know, island sanctuary somewhere where, like, they won't be able to get me. Maybe you're just a dumb kid.
Yep, that's the other possibility, right? Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Somebody in our chat yesterday, Jeff, when we were doing our show, was like, "Oh, so the rumor is that some 17-year-old kid." And I just ignored it.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, it's like people even had an idea who it might be yesterday. So, I mean, you can't be too surprised. Of course, they're gonna find you. I mean, that's what happens when you poke bears, Jeff. You don't want to poke the biggest bears, let alone any bear. So it's not too surprising. I'm a little surprised it all happened this quick, I guess.
Yeah, he has connections to that Lapsus hacking group. But 17 years old, very likely was doing some social engineering. That's something that like a lot of kids it's like the modern day phone prank. Just now you're doing it to multi-billion-dollar corporations that have their own militaries and will come after you.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Also, I stole your source code.
I'm not too surprised. I guess like you said, it's really quick, and maybe this kid was out there talking about it, and that's what made it happen so much quicker. And that would make sense
a lot.
Yeah, if there's rumors out there that it was a 17-year-old, and it's like, well, then how are people finding that out if it's not if there's not something, if he's not like leaving a very obvious trail at a certain point. Do you think they're gonna throw the book at him, so to speak, to show other hackers what happens if you hack them, or what?
I mean, I'm not sure. And there's like, I look, there's a lot of legal stuff that's about to happen now. It sounds like a lot of it. The FBI is involved, but he's arrested in the UK. I mean, Rockstar still, they still work out of there, right? Also, so I don't know where the jurisdiction is going to be. It might be in multiple places. I don't know if he's getting charged as a minor or as an adult. I don't know, Jeff. I would not, if I was him, I would not be feeling pretty good. Remember how we had like, oh, our tummies are upset because we feel bad about the Zelda ports.
Mm-hmm. His tummy's probably very upset.
He's probably very upset. But, it's just, if this guy didn't get caught, he's just going to keep doing this until at some point he was going to make a mistake somewhere. And it sounds like the mistake happened pretty quickly.
Yep. All right. The bigger news of the day. Here it is.
Oh, boy.
The doomsday clock once again approaches midnight. The Mario movie trailer has a date for when it will debut somewhere in the world. The New York Comic Con posted the following to Twitter. Join us on October 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern for the teaser trailer premiere of Nintendo and Illumination's upcoming Super Mario Brothers film, releasing April 7th, 2023. Now, Mike, this is at a Comic-Con. Usually that's behind closed doors. You have to wait in a long line. Maybe the trailer comes out a few weeks later. But still, like that day when that's happening, I expect a lot of stuff to be coming out of that room of people saying, "Oh my God, we heard Chris Pratt, and my whole world has changed." What do you expect?
Well, the teaser trailer is the key word here, and
yes.
We have seen. Look, I was in a theater recently and saw this like 30-second teaser trailer for some new Hunger Games thing that was literally just a camera flying around a logo for 30 seconds.
That's right. Yes.
So. Like we could get something like that. We could not even see Mario still, let alone hear him. That's a distinct possibility, which sounds just like hell. Because then it's, oh no, who knows when we're gonna finally hear this fucking voice. So, gosh, I hope that it's like a significant trailer. I hope we just do finally hear the Chris Pratt Mario, so we can know what we're getting into.
They end the trailer with his voice. It's one line. It's probably "It's a me," and "It's a me, Mario," and that's it. That's all we hear, but we do hear Chris Pratt's Mario voice. I would bet that's how it goes.
Don't you want to float it out there? Like, let's imagine a world where that Sonic trailer, the one with Ugly Sonic, was just a teaser thing where we didn't really even see him yet or something. And then, like, they just didn't know that everybody was repulsed and absolutely hated it. And then they didn't have a $1 million franchise or whatever. So,
I mean, maybe
you want to put it out.
But yeah, you like want to get some feedback. I suppose there would still be time to, make some pickup, record some pickups so you could do some different line readings, I guess. But like they're not going to replace Chris Pratt sort of no matter what at this point, right?
No, but they could do like I remember Shrek, like even the first trailer for that, Mike Myers was just doing like his voice. And then, like, somewhere in between that trailer and the movie coming out, I was like, actually, no, I'm going to do my fat bastard voice for Shrek instead. Right?
I mean, and the rest is history, right? It was an inspired choice.
As they say, is history.
I will be hanging out with some friends on October 6th.
You don't
in
have
person.
friends.
Well, I'll be hanging out with people that are paid to be my friend.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
those are never mind.
I'm really hoping this trailer leaks so that we can watch it together.
Well, I'm always confused that they still actually even do these closed door trailers anymore. That's shocking to me.
Yep, they do. They do still do them.
Out.
Yeah. It's so I don't know. I think that it's probably gonna be a minute long. Ends with a Chris Pratt voice. Other than that, I really don't know what to expect. Do they show like any of the songs if it still is like that musical?
Oh,
that
the
it was?
Song.
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet not.
I bet not too.
I bet they'll hide that.
I bet it's mostly going to be showing like the world, some familiar enemies, and then it's like it probably like cuts to Mario's legs like running, and then like some of the other characters that are familiar, like you could recognize Luigi's legs running, and then he like jumps or whatever, and it ends, and he says, "It's a me, Mario." So there you go.
I bet it's gonna open like some basement from the '80s, and it's like really there's like one like CRTV like that's lighting up the room, and like you zoom in, and it's playing Mario Bros.
Like that, like that's Star Wars Special Edition commercial where it's like,
yes,
you had to watch it like this. Now you can watch it like this.
Yeah, or it's going to just be a full playthrough of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Okay, well, that's good. It's the teaser trailer is actually 4 minutes. It's a Super Mario Brothers 1 speed run. It's gonna be pretty cool.
I would like that.
Me too. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Octopath Traveler 2 is 90% complete according to Square Enix. This comes from Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. Announced during September's Nintendo Direct showcase after heavy rumor of its existence, Octopath Traveler 2 is coming to the Switch in early 2023. In a recent interview with Famitsu, developer Square Enix sat down to discuss just how far through the process it is with the game, and we are pleased to see that the February 24th, 2023 release date appears very much probable. In a segment of the conversation, translated by Noisy Pixel, the studio confirms that Octopath Traveler 2 is currently 90% of the way through development, urging fans to wait a little longer before it reveals more information on the upcoming HD 2D JRPG. And here's a quote: "We're excited to finally announce to everyone that Octopath Traveler 2's development is 90% complete. We are currently in the last stretch, so we ask that you wait just a little bit more. Keep an eye out for further information coming out at a later date." I mean, not too surprising. They announced the date when they announced this game, and that it was always just right there in February, so less than about a half a year away, less than half a year away. So I guess it's nice to hear that it is just probably in the polishing phase. Things are done, ready to go. This is a pretty good way of doing things, right? Just have the game mostly done before you announce it officially.
Yeah. That's pretty good. It's better than let's just finish a game and then announce it like when it's done and we decide to finally reveal it, like supposedly with Fire Emblem Engage. This is good. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, as we know, graphics are the first thing that get done with a game, right? So then they just have to, after that, do the programming or something. I don't know. Jeff, this poll is pretty fantastic, by the way, that was run. What will Chris Pratt, aka Mario, say first in the Mario movie trailer? It's a me, Yahoo. So long, Gabe Bowser. Or Jeff Grubb was wrong about those Zelda ports.
Which one's winning?
Jeff Grubb was wrong about those Zelda ports. Is taking the lead right now with It's a Me falling behind that. Then so long, Gabe Bowser.
I would vote for Jeff Grubb was wrong about those Zelda ports. Very good. Thank you for that poll, by the way.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, like they said, we'll probably hear about it again pretty soon. But, this is one of several Square Enix games that are coming out between, what was it, like the beginning of September, or like August through the March. They are just like putting out game after game after game, and all kind of in this range of...
This mid-tierish range.
Yeah, mid-tierish range, although they also have Forspoken coming probably before the end of that same period. So they got a lot of stuff happening.
It's a pretty nice ramp up because we do have some of these smaller things, these like remakes of Tactics Ogre or stuff like that, Diofield Chronicles, Valkyrie, something. Then you have Forspoken, and then like in summer you're gonna get Final Fantasy 14, and then next holiday or whatever you're gonna get Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. They're gonna have a pretty big next 13-14 months or so, huh?
Yes, I think so, and I'm looking forward to many of it. Like that Diofield Chronicles is one that I was like, yeah, I played the demo, I enjoyed it. It's $60. I'm probably not going to pick it up at that price, but who knows? If it ever goes on sale, it might be a fun one. And there's a lot to pick up from when it comes to Square Enix, so cool. And Octopath Traveler 2, if it does the thing we were talking about where it connects the storylines together a little bit more strongly, it's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, that could be very exciting, especially after really enjoying what I've played of Live Alive.
Yeah, and that's kind of the promise that they made in the trailers that's going to do that. And it was sort of part of my problem with the first Octopath Traveler was that those things weren't connected. And also part of it was just by its structure, you're playing like the first act of 8 stories in a row. And it just kind of, that became a little tedious, just constantly getting introduced. Whereas in Alive, you play through a whole character's story, then you do the next person. Here it's like play through all 8 act 1s. Now play through all 8 act 2s. It's like, the structure just feels a little weird to me.
Valkyrie profile Lenneth is delayed. Here is from their Twitter account, I believe. They posted a message about the game. As we celebrate the upcoming launch of Valkyrie Elysium, we unfortunately need a bit more time for Valkyrie profile Lenneth to improve the quality of the title and so we've decided to move the release date to December 22nd, 2022. For those who have pre-ordered the Valkyrie Elysium Digital Deluxe Edition from the PlayStation Store, you will now receive your copy of Lenneth on December 22nd. Valkyrie Elysium is launching September 29th. This is another game like in this sort of tier of these weird sort of RPGs, strategy RPGs, Japanese RPGs that are all coming at the same time. I suppose putting one off because you were putting out 2 games you were putting out these 2 games on the exact same date. If you needed to give one more time, it's sort of fine, right? They just like take a little bit of a breather, try to get that in better condition than what it might be in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, may as well. There's, people have waited. They can wait a little bit longer in this case. It's not a big delay, especially when you can still say at this point it's still coming out this year.
Right.
It's December, so I think people are going to be fine with this.
What is Lenneth? Is this just a remake of the first one, or?
Yeah, this is. I believe that this is just a port of the original that I think even already came out on the PSP. If I'm understanding, Valkyrie profile, something that's been on my to-do list for a while. That one indie game from the people who made Skullgirls, they made a game that was a lot like this. It was called Indivisible or something like that. So
Lenneth is an enhanced version of the original 1999 PS1 RPG Valkyrie profile that was released on the PSP in 2007.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's okay. So apparently some people are saying that's not as good as the original even. So hey, take some time to make it better then, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully that's what's actually happening here. Bungie patents touchscreen controls for mobile devices and handheld consoles. This comes from Zuhad Ali at the Game Post. Earlier this year in March, Bungie filed a total of 6 new patents published last week, which further suggests that the developer is indeed working on games for mobile devices and or handheld consoles. All these Bungie patents feature some sort of virtual controls or controller that players could use on a touchscreen or on a mobile device. One of the patents mentions Destiny and Destiny 2 with the patented technology of virtual controller. Another patent, virtual button charging, which suggests a touchscreen control feature which could be used as an auto sprint option with a virtual thumbstick in a first-person shooter. It is similar to what you can already find in PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and so on. And they have a lot of other things along those lines, Mike. I am mostly surprised to find out that Destiny 2 is not on mobile in some way already, other than like streaming Stadia or something like that. I'm not someone who pays a lot of attention to Destiny, and I guess that I think a part of me just assumed like they would have done that by now. Seems like they haven't done that, but they are quickly going in that direction, right?
Something, there's a part of me that does wonder if Destiny 2 is a bit too much for just a straight up mobile port. Maybe not, because it's not just like having to do those controls. There's so much inventory and question. But even still, mobile games can maybe handle that. I do wonder if there is some sort of other project here.
They do have that. They did that deal with NetEase, right? And they were NetEase or Nexon. I cannot remember. I think it was NetEase.
Some Destiny folks on Twitter have been a little coy about seeming like something is coming. So, and I don't know if it's something just as simple as literally a Destiny Battle Royale that'll be on phones or something of that ilk. But, again, we see how much money things like Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile make. If you're making a successful online shooter of some kind, why would you not want a piece of that pie?
Right. You want it everywhere possible. They are, when they got purchased by PlayStation, by Sony, they made it very clear that, no, we want to still be putting our stuff out everywhere. That's what we want. It's what we think is best for our games, let alone best for like making the most amount of money or whatever. So that includes putting stuff out on mobile. Yes, so it is NetEase, and that game is confirmed. They are working on it. We still have not heard one thing about it, or one way or the other. But you could assume Chinese tech giant NetEase is going to want a game that is also at least on mobile.
Yep.
It may be even exclusively to mobile, but it definitely on mobile, regardless of wherever else you can get to it. Still, though, I think there's also a chance like some version of Destiny, maybe it is an offshoot, maybe it's like the Wild Rift version of Destiny that comes to mobile in some form, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm a little bit more skeptical of that, but I'll tell you what, if Destiny comes to mobile, I'll owe you a Coke.
Fair enough. Cyberpunk's resurgence is massive. This comes from the official Twitter account. Each day of this week, Night City has been visited by 1 million players, both new and returning. We wanted to use this opportunity to thank you for being with us and playing the game. Thanks, Chooms.
Chooms? What the hell's that?
That's one of the future sayings. It's like saying bro in the future.
Okay, so you're...
It's the future of just saying, what up, homie?
Am I your tune, Jeff?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
So this is happening because that anime came out in part. Obviously, they've also been working on the game, but the anime hit at Netflix, and just like with The Witcher, the game that is on Netflix from CD Projekt Red, or getting an adaptation, is benefiting that game in a major way. And this is its full second coming out party. Here it is. It's happening. And people seem pretty much more happy with it this time around. A little surprised. It needed more time. It has had more time. And now it's like, okay, first of all, we know better what to expect, because it's been years since those E3 presentations that were mostly bullshots. And now then that story was completely replaced by, it's a broken game. It's a broken mess. Now people are still encountering lots of bugs. It's still broken in some key ways. But for the most part, it is a game you can go play and enjoy. And likely, if you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, those are things you might not have had when this game was first coming out. So it's like, okay, now you can play it on a new, more powerful console, and that will make it easier to enjoy the game, as opposed to the 30 frames per second textureless mess that was happening on a base Xbox One. So not too surprising that this game is doing better. Mike, have you gone back to Cyberpunk?
No. I said I would when that next gen version came out, and then a million other things were happening, and I didn't. I do still want to. We'll see. But it's good, Jeff, to see that game can come out and be bad, and then eventually get massaged to a good place. Sometimes it's also a little concerning, because it's maybe just another, well, we could ship it now and make it better later kind of thing, and you don't want too much of that. I still think that's not the prevailing theory. I think people would rather not risk it and have things come out good and well. That Netflix effect is interesting, and it still baffles me that that you had that successful Castlevania show on there forever, and there was never really a new Castlevania game to sort of divert that attention to. You had a collection that I liked a lot, but I don't think that the wider Netflix audience was all that interested in playing old Game Boy Advance games.
No, almost certainly not. Bungie Sales on Twitter points out that Cyberpunk 2077 has hit a higher peak concurrent players every day on Steam this week. On Monday, it had 79,000. Tuesday, 83,000. Wednesday, 86,000. Then 89,000. So clearly more and more people watching the show, more and more people turning out for the game, and the people who seem to be starting the game up fresh are sticking with it throughout this week at least. So not just a short surge of players, a sustained period of growth. And it's something that, when we look at what other companies are doing, right? You see Sony saying, hey, we are going to put out more movies based on our games, and we're going to do more tie-ins. Clearly, they're looking at this effect, this Netflix effect, and saying, we could have that. And when we put out The Last of Us show on HBO, we are going to be really expecting to capitalize on that with The Last of Us Part 1 remake and Last of Us Part 2. That's going to happen, right? Those games are also going to have a similar resurgence.
Yeah, they were much more ready with that, I think, than even when the Uncharted movie came out. And there wasn't really some, Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy were already things that you could kind of just get as part of your PlayStation Plus deal or whatever, right? So, yeah, I think that they are thinking about that stuff, right? Which is good, because if they're going to go back to their back catalog, maybe this, more so than other things, will be like, well, we're gonna make a Sly Cooper movie. I guess we should make another Sly Cooper game. I think
Yeah.
that franchise just celebrated a birthday today, by the way. I
Yeah,
forget if
it's
it's
just
20
20
years.
it's 20 years. Man, that's wild. 20 years,
Yeah, it
really?
makes
Yeah,
sense.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, 2020 or 2002 would be that PS2 era. So,
Yeah, there you go.
man, they basically, the way they phrased that anniversary was, "Hey, man, we've moved on to other things, but we'll always remember Sly Cooper." It's like, wow, right?
Yeah.
Really just twist the knife in those Sly Cooper
Just
fans'
really
hearts.
shutting it down. Hey, we know. Look, Sucker Punch is we know that they're going to be busy with Ghost of Tsushima stuff for probably
Yeah.
a while.
So rest
And,
in piss, Sly.
yeah, I mean, the only studio that seems to be able to still find time for like those kind of projects is Insomniac. I don't know if it's just a size thing or what, but everyone else has to basically spend the whole like 7-year giant dev cycles on one game anymore.
Yeah, and it's I mean, you kind of hope that maybe more of these studios that do have this lineage could spread out and do things more like Insomniac, but maybe Insomniac really is just kind of special in that regard, and trying to build out these other studios in that image might not be worth it. But yeah, I think you're right though, that if there's a chance for like games like Sly Cooper or whatever to get made again, you're right. If they want to make a movie or a show, then they'll be like, well, at least we could start doing the remasters, and if those do really well because of the shows, then maybe they do another one. I think that is the most reasonable path to expect a new Sly Cooper from Sony at this point in time. A little bit of a shame, but at least there's some light and some hope at the end of that tunnel or whatever. So
What happens first? New Sly Cooper, new Knack.
I think probably a new Knack. Yeah.
No,
man.
Knack was never really even that good though. Sly Cooper people at least.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, it's like Mark Cerny still seems to have a lot of just sway at PlayStation. So I think if he said, "I'm going to go make another Knack," that is like, what are they going to stop him? Like, it's like, I'll leave and go do a Knack successor on Kickstarter, and I won't design the PlayStation 6 for you. And they don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose his thirst for ears. That's how the PlayStation 5 actually works.
I really wish that Sony would have at least done like Reignited Trilogy / Insane Trilogy style remakes of like those 3 PlayStation 2 era franchises. Like I actually never played Sly Cooper somehow. I really missed that, and it's weird because I like 3D platformers and I like stealth games. So I'd love an excuse to finally go play those. And the Ratchet and Clank games are great, and the Jak and Daxter games are great. So you would have thought that back when it Reignited Trilogy and the Crash ones were making $1 zillion, they would have maybe thought about that. But I guess, are you going to get to do that aside from Blue Point? And they probably have other plans for Blue Point.
Yeah, exactly. The Sly collection just came out on reports of the PS3 HD collection. What just came out on PlayStation Plus? There was a Sly.
Was it Sly 4, which I don't think people like as much, and there was a collection for PlayStation 3 of all of those had trilogy collections on PlayStation 3, I think, which it means something. But I don't want to play those on the cloud, and I kind of expect a little bit more right now. Fair
enough. All right. Microsoft CEO says he's very confident that the Activision deal will gain approval. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has said he's very confident that the company's planned acquisition will go through. The proposed $68.7 billion acquisition of the Call of Duty publisher would be the games industry's biggest ever deal, comfortably surpassing the record $12.7 billion Take-Two and Zynga merger completed earlier this year. The deal is, of course, being scrutinized by several antitrust groups around the world. In response to that, Nadella said, "Of course, any acquisition of this size will go through scrutiny, but we feel very, very confident that it will come out and basically in our favor," is the unsaid thing there. They keep speaking this way, but also you are seeing both him, Nadella, and Phil Spencer out there talking more frequently about this deal, going on charm offensives, answering questions from interviewers about this subject. In a way that's like, I think with the Bethesda deal, they were just sort of waiting in the wings, waiting in the shadows for the thing to go through, and then when it was done, then they popped back out. Here, it does feel like they feel that there's much more of a need to be out there arguing their case. Do you think they are really as confident as Nadella says?
Maybe not that confident. I do think that they expect it to go through, but I think they're obviously worried. They are getting more pressure from some regulators, especially in the UK, and they're getting more pressure from Sony. Sony is actually going on the offensive about this one in a way that they did not with Bethesda. So they do kind of have to go out there, show confidence, and make their case a bit more this time around.
Yeah, it's so far it's mostly just been everything is going as you would expect with the regulation, and still though, like the CMA in the UK is entering phase 2 of its investigation. That doesn't mean you assume that's going to go fine in your case. You want to be out there, and if someone like PlayStation is saying, "Oh, here's why this is bad and why this is bad," you do want to be answering that. You don't want to leave all those claims sort of on the table for everyone to take at face value. So. I get why they're out there, but I think you're right. They are mostly still expecting this to go through, and then maybe with some concessions. It's something that at this point, every time this comes up, it's mostly just these companies arguing, saying one thing or the other, like secretly to each other out in public. And when we say, okay, well, what do we think is going to happen? It's been the same thing. It's probably going to pass, and I think Nadella's probably right. All right, Ed Sheeran is releasing a Pokemon collaboration song next week, Mike. It's titled Celestial. The song will be released on September 29th on all major music streaming platforms. Sheeran posted a brief clip of the song, which he sang surrounded by Pokemon plush toys, on his YouTube channel earlier this week. Artwork for the single, which features Ed and a crudely drawn Pikachu, has also been revealed. While this may seem like a strange collaboration to some, the Grammy award-winning musician is actually a huge fan of the Pokemon franchise going way back. Also, it's like, Pokemon did a collaboration with Post Malone, so what's an Ed Sheeran in there? Mike, you looking forward to this? A big Ed Sheeran guy?
No. I mean, look, I'm not upset about it. He can go do you. If I was famous, I would just hook up with whatever brands that I liked and want to do things with them.
Man, that is a crudely drawn Pikachu, I have to say.
Yes, but I like it a lot.
Okay. You know what? I thought the cheek things were that conduct electricity were eyes for a second. Now I see. Okay.
Oh, yes, that would be upsetting. Okay, now I see that, and maybe like it more?
So Ed Sheeran's looking like way cooler than Ed Sheeran actually looks. This Pikachu's looking a bit rough, but you're right. It's kind of like a melty ice cream version. Like if you got the ice cream truck comes around the corner and he's got Pikachu's on a stick thing. And it looks really great in the picture, and then you open it up, and it's sort of already melted and then refroze. That's what this Pikachu looks like. So I get why you might like it.
Did you have a character, your go-to character, ice cream on a stick? Do you have one that you associate with that the most?
I can't remember. If maybe Donald Duck. Wasn't there a Donald Duck one?
I don't think there was ever a Donald one. Not that and I would know.
I think
maybe there was.
I remember like a duck bill and then like the big eyes. But who was your go-to? I don't remember.
Well, the big ones were always the turtles. SpongeBob for a long time now. Sonic is still a big one. The Sonic one is probably still my favorite. And then the Pikachus these days are what I remember.
Yeah, I think a lot of those. I mean, the turtles ones maybe, but a lot of those were after when I was like a kid actually going up to the ice cream truck.
I'd go running for that ice cream truck, man, when I heard it. I think it's funny that we called that stuff ice cream, by the way. That must be a separate.
Right, those are like frozen novelty items or whatever they call them. Yeah.
I don't think there's much cream.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much dairy of any kind involved in that, like, gelatinized sugar mess, but yes. I love it.
Frozen sugar novelty food products. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds delicious. I'm trying to... go ahead.
Okay, I think maybe I'm trying to see if this Donald Duck one existed. I found one. Okay, yeah, I think there was a Donald Duck. You're right.
I think it was probably less popular after, like, the ice cream, not the character, Mike. We don't have to have that fight. But I think the ice cream was less popular after a while, and maybe not something that would have been around when most people in chat and you were getting ice cream from. When I was
really young, getting ice cream was always the turtles, and then for a while it became Sonic, and then Sonic was disappearing for a bit, and it was only SpongeBob. Yeah, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man's another one you can always get. Sonic has been back.
Spider-Man's another one I remember. Yes. Okay, there we go. That's very good.
With those just rock hard gumball eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Good stuff.
All right, hang on. I found it. Let's click. Let's see what he's got for us. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna turn the music on. Everybody, just brace yourself.
Miles away, you make me feel like I'm drunk on stars and we're dancing out into space, celestial.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna get DMCA'd for Ed Sheeran's fucking ass. Okay, well, good for you, Ed. He is truly surrounded by Pikachu plushies. I'm
kind of jealous of that Lapras. That looks cozy.
Yeah. And, well, then, there you go. I guess we all have to deal with that now. I prefer the Post Malone cover that Posty did, so there you go. Detective Pikachu 2 is nearing release, according to a developer's LinkedIn. This comes from Jordan Miller at VGC. As spotted by a Family Boards user, an entry on the LinkedIn page for Jonathan Murphy, a senior game programmer at Creatures Inc., states that he has been, let's see here, Mike, you just highlighted something, I think. Okay, and I couldn't read it. There we go. States that he has been working on one unannounced project and one nearing release.
I was doing it for my own benefit.
No, it's okay. I'm like, what's that? Well, I just couldn't.
I messed with your doc in the slightest way.
Well, it's something. It's like your name tag pops up and then it covers some of the letters about like right when I was about to read it, and I'm like, oh God, what are the words?
It's actually kind of funny to know I can mess with you like this. I got you.
No, okay, wonderful, very good. His LinkedIn states that he has been working on one unannounced project and one nearing release, and then comma Detective Pikachu 2. So saying that is the one nearing release. This is very great, Mike. This is wonderful. I love I love everything that you're doing here, and that the name is just bouncing around like okay, very cool.
Mike.
The game, which the Pokemon Company has barely discussed since announcing it several years ago, has no official release date. The last fans heard about the game was when VGC reported on a job ad from Creatures Inc. in February. In the ad, a programmer referred to as KT revealed that he was working on the sequel to Detective Pikachu, which is in early development at that time. This game was originally announced in 2019, and it's supposed to be coming. We haven't heard much about it since. Do you think this is yet another one that could just like get announced and come out 2 months later?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't need to build up for Detective Pikachu a whole lot, Jeff. Even in terms of Pokemon things and Pikachu things, it seems like it does okay. Some people like it. It doesn't seem to light anybody's world on fire.
Yeah. I kind of always wanted to go back and try Detective Pikachu. I never have. I don't know. And also, there's a chance it seems like maybe they were trying to see if they could, tie this up with the next Detective Pikachu movie. That's probably not happening at this point.
I don't think they're making another one.
Right. They probably would have been doing that and announcing that and having that all in the works. I mean, Sonic 2 came out. We're not getting into Detective Pikachu 2 in that same time frame. So I think that says a lot. So probably not going to happen. So why not just keep the game series going? That doesn't need the movies to actually exist. Detective Pikachu came out several years before there was ever a talk of a movie. So yeah, they probably will bring this out here in the next year or so. I would really want to see kind of what they are going to do with the Switch version of this and see if they try to like amp up the production values at all. But we'll see.
Bet not.
Probably not
too much.
Probably not.
It's going to be just another Detective Pikachu.
Let's see. Before we get to the poll, I was thinking maybe we could do something special and answer some questions from the chat. So here we go.
Wow.
All right. Welcome to GrubbSnax, where we talk about your questions. So if you have a question, you can hit that ask a question button at the top of the page. In the future, when I do this, though, if you are a Twitch supporter and you get into the Discord, there will be a Discord that's just for people who will subscribe through the Twitch, and I'll answer the questions that come from there as well. So let's see here from MockBucket62. Grubb, should rabbits talk? No, I would. They should not.
Apparently, they might be talking in Mario plus Rabbids now. I mean, I think I'd rather. I don't know. Maybe I'd rather they talk than do their scream yell thing. I don't know. I'd rather the rabbits just weren't. But they are, so I don't know what you do with them.
Now they are, and they cannot be not. Once again, you just keep them silent, let them make minions noises. Mostly, they should just be hurting each other and themselves, and that's it. Should Mario talk? Says the test.
Well, I mean, like more than he does. Should he be talking
a little bit?
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. To be clear, when there have been things where Mario has talked, like the old cartoon shows and stuff, it's always been fine. Like it's never bothered me. So yeah, he could talk. Should he be talking in Chris Pratt's voice? We'll see. But I think it's fine for him to talk. Yeah.
Barker is on fire. Says, what do you think the working / security title of the Mario film is? What do you think the code name is for the Mario movie?
Pipes. Lane Pipe.
Lane Pipe. Oh, very good. I think it's Pizza Pasta Man.
Pizza Pasta Man. Isn't that the name of Luigi Primo's son or something? That wrestler who makes pizza. I was reading his Wikipedia, and at one point it was just like he has a son, Pasta Boy, who's made entirely of pasta or something like that. I was like, man, this is the best sentence I have ever read.
I think it's actually the name of a boxer from the arcade version of Punch Out. I think it's just Pizza Pasta, but I always called him Pizza Pasta Man.
There you go.
Let's see here. From Zekrits, what would you rather, potato or pineapple?
Potato, always. disgusting, juicy, wet, gross fruit. Nah.
I'll do a pineapple. Give me that gross, wet fruit. Slap me with it. Panic Switch. I'll be visiting the Cleveland area soon. Any recommendation on what to do while there? Well, there's a Margaritaville.
There is. I've been showing Jeff all sorts of fun things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so the Margaritaville, no, it's a joke, but it's actually in this fun area of Cleveland called the Flats. So if you want to like go check out some breweries, some bars, that's good. The best brewery is on the west side. It's called Great Lakes Brewery. It's also basically called the West Side Market, which is this big indoor kind of meat and a lot of like bakeries and stuff in there. Yeah. That's fun. There's, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's one of the big touristy things you can do there. And it's still right downtown, which is pretty nice.
Let's see. Slacker Chan, what's the over-under for Danny DeVito playing the Toads in the Mario movie? Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah, he playing him? Yeah, he's doing Toad.
So I hate to say that, not happening.
It would be nice, though, if there was just one Toad that was different and played by Danny DeVito.
Played by Danny DeVito. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
if it was like the Toad, if it was like Captain Toad as Danny DeVito or something.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Toad, why not?
Dr. Randall, how's Scorny Jr. doing on the farm he was sent to? Oh, he's doing great, running in the fields with all the other Scornies out there. I'll send you some pictures of him soon. Once Grandma gets him developed, she can't walk very well anymore. So, Looter Jennings, when are we getting another Meep update? It's been so long. Yeah, I need to take some time, sit down with Addie, and create a list of things to show her and ask her what's a Meep. But I'll take some recommendations if anyone's got any.
You gotta do it. Someday you're gonna wake up and she's gonna be out of the Meep phase.
I know that. Oh my god, I will be truly devastated if she stops caring about Meeps. I hope that she goes into the Meep business, whatever that would entail. Does Drew Carey have a restaurant in Cleveland? Asked Steel Knight 2000.
No, he doesn't. It's not like speaking of pasta. Hulk Hogan had Pasta Mania. It's like his thing. Drew Carey does not have Drew Carey pasta or what have you.
Kane Highwind 09. Can we get a Bacalar Tipsy check? I don't know. Do I still have that? I don't know if I have that.
Shocked if you had that.
I don't have that bit on here. Yeah, it's on a different scene setup.
Let's just say it. He's just blackout drunk right now.
Yeah, he's completely like, listen, man, it's Friday. And first thing he says in the Discord is, man, it's 5 p.m. somewhere. And he slurs that somehow, even though it's just text.
It's like, Jeff, it's 5 p.m. right now. You shouldn't be drunk. You're working.
Octo, will Fez 2 ever happen?
No.
Phil Fish, we haven't heard from him in a while. I think he's still
fine.
He still does some game stuff here and there. I think he's mostly just moved into the background so people will stop yelling at him, and so he'll stop putting his foot in his mouth, of course. But yeah, probably not a Fez 2. Although, if tomorrow you woke up, or next week you woke up, and Fez 2 was announced and was out and playable right away, would you be that surprised?
I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the most shocking thing that has ever happened, Jeff, but I would be pretty surprised, yes.
All right, let's just do a couple more. All the dinos. Do you think the Red Wings will make the playoffs this year? Yes, barely. And then Colonel Sandwich 21, Gotham Knights is out in a month. Did everyone forget about it? I did forget about it. Again, I forgot about Gotham Knights. Even
though that last show was actually pretty good this time. So, who knows, Jeff? I thought that Saints Row was oh, that's bombing. It came out and the reviews were bad. Then it was number 2 in NPD. It was oh, I guess it did good. And then the guy from,
yeah, I think the game's going to do fine.
Yeah, I think it's doing fine.
Yeah, it'll come out, and as long as the marketing is there, and as long as as long as there's not one of these games, other games comes out that just completely sucks all the oxygen out of the room, I suppose God of War could. But I still think Gotham Knights is going to be fine. Gotham Knights comes out before God of War, right? So it'll have a good chance of success.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Okay. I think what we're going to do now is go to the poll. Let me get that up here. I did have it, and then I went to go look at Ed Sheeran's thing instead, so I lost it because that was very Very smart move by me. Let's see. What did I ask?
Yeah, kind of a contentious poll, Jeff.
That's right. Everyone's like, this isn't a fair poll. I'm like, none of the polls are fair. It's on Twitter. Do you think a video game reviewer would be a good video game publisher? 29.7% said yes. 70.3% said no. And then there were a lot of people yelling at me about how I misled or had a leading question or whatever. And so I followed that up with, do game reviewers deserve rights?
Actually, most people said yes on that. I'm shocked.
No. 20.4% said no, and 79.6% said lol, no.
Oh, okay. Let's cut off fingers. I assumed that the second thing was going to be yes.
No.
I didn't realize the second option was hell no.
No. Hell no. Yes.
That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, sure. Well, you know, Jeff, my problem with this poll, and I have problems, and I'm going to tell you all about them. It's not so much that's a leading question, but there was no like answer. Like I don't think being a video game reviewer makes you a good publisher or not.
Yeah, I do that on purpose so that people will yell at me and give me engagement. So
you admit it.
Yeah, of course. Like, what else do you? These polls don't accomplish anything, everybody. They are not scientific. I'm not going to be publishing these in a journal. What do you think the purpose of this is? Oh my God, he admitted.
He admitted. All right. What's today's inflammatory engagement bait poll, Jeff?
Do you like me? Yes or no? No, it's are you going back to Cyberpunk? Yes or no? Let's see. I guess I could put some other options in there because that is.
What if you've already been back?
Exactly. What if you've already been back? Let's see. Game mess.
Yes.
Mornings. And then so. Yes for the first time. Yes. How would I phrase? Yes.
Yes.
I'm returning.
Giving it another shot.
Yes. Giving it another shot. Giving it a second shot.
Not second. Maybe it's a third or fourth. Just say another.
You know, it won't fit. It won't fit. It won't fit. That's why I had to change it.
Just giving
another shot. There we go. Just drop out whole words. There we go. No. And planning too soon. Okay. Let's go for it. Let's add 3 days.
You don't have the already there option. That's what you want for the last one. It's just already am there. I'm already here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Already there. Already replaying. Already was replaying. There we go.
Already there, replaying.
Okay. Or already was playing. Yeah, there we go.
There you go, Choom.
Oh, shout out to my Choom, Mike Minotti, for helping me out there. Yeah.
Sounds like a slur.
I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to say it. I really think I shouldn't be saying Choom. All right, you go back to Cyberpunk, and Mike, we talked about this already, but I at least you gave your take on it. I actually am kind of getting a little antsy to check it out again, but mostly I'm just probably going to play it on the Steam Deck, maybe play it for a couple hours. I played through the entire thing. I beat it. I saw everything that they had in there. I guess I didn't see all the other angles you could come at from like your starting character, but at a certain point, all that stuff begins to line up, and it's just the same game to the end. So, all right. I still, though, I kind of, after these latest updates, I want to just check out and see if the interactions in the world are any more interesting. All right, Mike Minotti, where can people find you on the internet?
On Twitter and Twitch at tolkoto. Always check out gamesbeat.com, where I am managing editor. I am wrangling all sorts of news and things over there. And Jeff and I will be doing Last of the Nintendogs on Tuesday evening. So check out that and our Game Mess Decides podcast.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, Mike. I really appreciate it.
No, you don't.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I actually do appreciate all you. You're the best. You guys don't yell at me ever. You don't mess up my doc when I'm trying to read the news.
That's good stuff.
So you all are very precious to me. You're the best audience in gaming. What's coming up on Giant Bomb? Today, we are going to go into Sonic 06.
Ooh.
And then we are going to go into Hyrule Hustle for UPF instead of a normal UPF. So Sonic 06, it's going to be Dan playing. I'm going to hang out with him. Jess should be there. And then that crew after Dan has been built up with rage and hatred for everything in the world from playing Sonic 06, he's going to be in charge of something he's created called the Hyrule Hustle, where me and Jess have to do some sort of race. I honestly still don't know what to expect, but I did get to a point in the game where he wanted me to get. I spent 2.5 hours doing it, and I did all this work. In that process, I got 1 stamina upgrade, and when I explained that in our chat, he immediately started saying, well, okay, well, that's not fair. Jess, you go get that same stamina upgrade, and then we're going to punish Jeff. So things are still going to be even, except for apparently I'm still going to get punished.
Maybe static punishment. Maybe you have to like do it naked or something. And I don't mean Link.
Well, listen, that was already going to happen. I mean, that's the hustle part. All right.
That's the hustle.
All right, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Stick around. We got some stuff coming up right now, so don't go anywhere. But if you're listening later for Game Best Mornings, thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.